Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the bridge dedication that's been a long time coming. Even though the weather is gloomy, that's not going to prevent us from having a good time. We are going to endeavor to persevere, and we are going to make sure that this does not put a damper on this event. This is a great opportunity for all of us, and I have the honor and the privilege to MC this event. We have a lot of great speakers come in and representatives from all over the state, and we're really looking forward to that. So we'll be moving on with the program, but first, I would like all of you to stand as the color guard, the Virginia Servicemen's Color Guard, led by Captain Cameron Jason, will post the colors. And upon completion of the posting of the colors, then the Evelyn High School Band will play the Star Spangled Banner. Gentlemen. Thank you for the great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by the Evelyn Gilbert High School Band. Thank you so much. And to Captain Jason and the Honor Guard from the Virginia Honor Guard, thank you so much for being here today and taking the time to play that patriotic rendition and posting of the colors. This is a great day. And my job here is to introduce all these individuals who are involved in this whole project. But first, I just want to say on behalf of the citizens of Virginia, on behalf of the mayor and the city council, and on behalf of the other mayors from Evelyn, Mr. Bob Salovich, Gilbert Mayor Beth Olson, Mountain Iron Mayor Gary Skelko, and all the other range mayors. Thank you for being here today. This is a great opportunity. You take a look at these postings on these signs on the left and the right. These are the individuals. These are the subcontractors. These are the workers, the union people, and all the dedicated managers and the Department of Transportation representatives that made this possible. This was an at-risk building. It was in a short time frame. Kiewit was the general contractor that was selected for this project. They've been nothing but professional and did an outstanding job for us to get this project on time and early so we can have this dedication today. So on behalf of all of us, I wish to thank them for all their hard work as we move forward. So please give them all a round of applause. And I especially want to comment on the Department of Transportation District 1 engineers. They worked closely with the City of Virginia on the financing package for our utilities along with Kiewit, and they've been nothing but professional. Commissioner Zell, you should be proud of the individuals that work for you in the Department of Transportation, and we sure had a professional relationship with them. We hope to continue that relationship in future projects. So thank you, Commissioner Zelli. I know you're out there somewhere. Well, it's my great honor and my privilege to introduce the people that sit behind me today, the speakers, the movers, the shakers, the people responsible for making the decisions as we move forward with all projects throughout the state of Minnesota. And this is one of the biggest projects we ever had on the Iron Range as far as highway construction. This engineering marvel was possible with the assistance of our congressmen, our local legislators, and our state representatives. So it's an honor and privilege to me right now to introduce, from the great state of Minnesota, our Lieutenant Governor, Tina Smith.
Thank you. What a great day. First, I want to just bring a huge greeting from the governor. Now, today the governor and I had to sort of divide and conquer a little bit, and the governor is in Thief River Falls. And not that there's anything wrong with Thief River Falls, but I think I definitely got the good deal today. I can't even imagine a better view than this, and I can barely see the bridge up there, but yesterday when I was with the governor, he said, now, Tina, when you go, you got to make sure you go down in the pit so that you can see how big this is. And I think he was assuming we were going to do the dedication up high. So I'm going to make sure and try to take a picture with all of you so that I can text it to him so that he can see it, because I think he'll be really happy. Today we dedicate a new permanent connection between Eveleth and Virginia and northern Minnesota. This bridge is 250 feet high. I am told that it is the highest bridge in Minnesota. 10 million pounds of American-made steel. This project, the entire project, represents a $250 million investment. And those of you who are following the numbers know that right now we have about $244 million, but of course nobody doubts that Euston and Tomassoni are going to get the last $5 million for the utilities. So I'm just rounding up. We have $30 million in federal dollars in this project, $157 million in trunk highway funds, then another $25 million in state dollars, and $19.5 million in local funding and GO bonds. And, I've been around the Capitol a while, not as long as Tomassoni. But I want to just say to you what you already know is that this project is a testimony to the strength of the range. Because projects like this don't just happen. They take, Metza was saying a little earlier that projects like this take a village. Well, I would say in particular they take an Iron Range village to do this. The amazing legislators that you have that are fighting every single day to make sure that the range gets its share, its fair share of great investments like this. Congressman Nolan, who does such an outstanding job of advocating for the range in all of northern Minnesota and Washington, D.C., and do we need him there now? The range trade unions who built this amazing project. Couldn't have happened without them. The 27 local contractors who provided the know-how and the just incredible talent to make it happen and to get it done a month early. And I think, yes, that's right. And it's really important to all of us, I know, that this project happened with 0 time lost for worker injuries. Now you're going to have a chance to hear from some other folks on this stage today, but I'd like to just take my prerogative to do a particular call out to Pat Euston. Where are you, Pat? He's probably off working someplace. Pat, there he is over there. Pat was the MnDOT project director who worked so well with so many people to bring this project together as it has. And I just want to thank you for your work, because it's not easy to pull off a project like this. So with my huge congratulations to all of you here, I can't imagine a better place to be today than right here underneath this beautiful, iconic bridge, which is going to provide a connection for this part of the state for decades and decades to come. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for that passionate rendition. Outstanding. And we're really happy and fortunate that you're here today. Well, we have two letters I'd like to read before we introduce our next guest. The one from U.S. Senator Al Franken, and the other one from Senator Amy Klobuchar, who couldn't be here today because of their commitments in Washington, D.C. As you know, they're working very, very hard on our behalf on a variety of projects to bring back to the state of Minnesota, to bring our future to move forward. The first I'd like to read is from a statement from Senator Al Franken. The opening of this bridge marks a great day for Minnesota's mining industry, communities across the Iron Range, and all of Northeast Minnesota. This structure is an example of how Minnesotans, including local, state, national interests, can come together not only to solve a problem, but to put into place something that will help spur jobs, economic development, and prosperity across this region. Beyond that, the bridge is a marvel of cutting-edge engineering and world-class workmanship, which will serve the people of this region today and into the future. Finally, congratulations to the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the Iron Range communities, the construction companies, and United Taconite for their work to make this bridge a reality. Minnesota will benefit from your work on this project for many generations. Respectfully submitted, Senator Al Franken, State of Minnesota. The next letter comes from Senator Amy Klobuchar. Dear friends, thank you for the invitation to join you at today's dedication ceremony for the Highway 53 relocation project. I want to thank all of you for your commitment to the range and to the work to make this project a reality. At 204 feet above the Richelieu Pit, your new bridge stands as the highest in our entire state. That makes up for a fitting entrance into Virginia. Thank you to this project. People will enjoy safer, more efficient travel and a chance to take part in our history of iron ore and taconite mining with the open pit below. And infrastructure projects like this one have always been essential to keeping the same tradition of mining ore alive. During my time in the Senate, I have consistently fought hard to strengthen our transportation system. I was one of the first senators to support the Fixing America's Surface Transportation, known as FAST, the FAST Act, our first long-term transportation bill over a decade. This bipartisan bill was signed into law late in 2015 and provides a big boost for Minnesota roads and bridges and transportation over the 5 years of this bill. The FAST Act also provided $36 million additional highway dollars for highways, bridge, and transportation funding in fiscal year 2016. And that will grow to $107 million increase in fiscal year 2020. I want to thank the many building trades, women and men, for their hard work building this bridge from the ground up. Kiewit Infrastructure Company for their leadership and management of this project. and the Minnesota Department of Transportation and other state officials for their dedication over the many years of planning that paved the way for this project. I also thank the local elected officials, the volunteers, the business owners, and the citizens who all played a part in this success. I am honored to represent you in the United States Senate and look forward to continuing to work together to build a stronger future for Minnesota and the United States of America. Sincerely, Amy Klobuchar, United States Senate. It seems an introduction is not, I can't give an introduction that really expresses the thanks and the privilege for us to have such hardworking representatives at the local, state, and at the federal level. The individual I'm going to introduce today has done so many things for Minnesota and the Iron Range, and a strong supporter of mining in this country and on the Iron Range, and standing firm, providing all this support even during all the adversity and all the criticism and all the different parts of people who do not support mining in this area. And it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce today your United States Congressman from Minnesota, Congressman Rick Nolan.
Wow, is this an exciting day? Are you ready to celebrate? Huh? Are you ready to celebrate? Are you really ready to celebrate? Yeah. All right, because we got something to celebrate here. I tell you, this bridge is such an important statement, a statement about the importance of transportation, an important statement about the value, the significance, the importance of mining, and a statement about the resilience of the Minnesota Iron Range community, about the bright prospects for our future here in America. I would be somewhat remiss if I didn't add at least some of the great thanks and gratitude, you know, for everybody that's played such an important role in this bridge here today. And I would say ditto to everything that's already been said. But I would add to that special accolades to Senator Tomassoni and Senator Metsa, and I see Representative Sundin out here championing this cause for us at the state of Minnesota, Lieutenant Governor Smith, and especially Governor Mark Dayton. Give him a hand. Played a big important role in all this. Not the least of which, appointing one of the finest Minnesota heads of our Department of Transportation we ever had, and that's Charlie Zelig. Give him a big hand. In addition to Pat Euston out here, the project manager, I see Dwayne Hill over here, one of the finest district engineers. Dwayne, thank you for all you've done. To all the community, as a result of the business community, the government community, the county, I see Tomassoni and Nelson out here, two county commissioners that have equally challenged. What did I say? Oh, did I say Tomassoni? You know, you can usually get by just calling him Tom out in this country because you're going to get it covered. Rookavina, forgive me, Tom. and the rest of the community, including Keewick, and but what we have here today is not only the tallest bridge in the state of Minnesota. What's important to note is it's made with all 100% American-made steel, built by 100% union workers and contractors, and one of the finest bridges you'll see anywhere here in this country and in this world. And it makes us proud of our local contractors, our labor unions, our contractors, and our community that have made all this possible. when it comes to mining, I don't know if you know this, there's 600,000 bridges in the United States of America, built with 3.25 million tons of iron ore. That's how important this iron range is to our national economy and our national security. Our Iron Range miners and mining companies not only won a couple of world wars, by God, they've been at the foundation of building America and building our transportation system. Hats off to the Iron Range, the miners, and the steel workers. And last but not least, this bridge here is a statement about our future and about the bright prospects for our future, for our communities, for our children, for our businesses, for our jobs with living wages and benefits and pensions and health care, and creating communities and places where people want to live, raise their children, where people want to work, where families can be kept together, and the most noble of all enterprises, which is building a great nation, a nation which is the model for the rest of the world, whose foundation begins, starts, and ends with mining and steel. That's what this is all about. Thank you, everyone.
How can you follow something like that? But I'm sure our next speakers are up to the task. Again, it's an honor and privilege to me to introduce your state representative out of Chisholm, Minnesota, who works tirelessly and has been a long-time supporter for all of us. Yeah, Senator. What did I say? I say Congressman? I said representative. Okay, I got a congressman on one side of me, a state senator on the other side of me, and a representative on the side of me, and a manager of a great company next to me. So let me re-acknowledge that. I'm introducing a senator, the senator from Chisholm, Minnesota, who works tirelessly for all of us, who's done so much for the Iron Range. He's a good friend of us. We appreciate all the work you've done in securing the funding for this project. Thank you for being here today. I proudly introduce to you your Senator, David Tomassoni. Sorry about that.
This memory thing keeps getting worse as we get older, just so you all know. So, now, this is spectacular. This is truly spectacular, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a idea of how incredible this is just by you doing one thing for me right now, and that is look to your left over at that base of the bridge right over there and check out the size of it. And now look to the other side over here and see that that one is exactly the same size as this one, but from the perspective where you're standing, they don't look the same size. That shows you how darn big this bridge is and how impressive it really is. Yes. Congressman Nolan, Lieutenant Governor Smith, Commissioner Zelli, Commissioner Mark Phillips, my colleagues in the legislature that are here. I know Mike Sundin's here. Commissioner Tom Rukavina, former representative, and not to be confused with Tomassoni. Commissioner Mike Jugovich, Commissioner Keith Nelson. Today, and just, I wrote this all down and I'm going to read it because of all these little blurbs you've heard from people's mouths, so hopefully I'm going to get this right. Today marks the culmination of a truly remarkable project. I have to thank my legislative colleagues for supporting the project, our federal representatives for their support, the governor, the lieutenant governor, and their staff, and in particular MnDOT, Kiewit, 27 local subcontractors, and I think they're all listed over here so you can see who they are, several hundred construction workers, and the people who have lived through this remarkable relocation. The highest bridge in Minnesota, But maybe even more amazing, it goes underground just as far as it goes up in the air. And that's pretty impressive. There are so many people to thank that it could take all day, but I will be brief by saying thank you, everyone, and thank you all for being here to honor this momentous occasion. I do think that Pat Euston and Dwayne Hill and their team deserve special notice as their daily planning with the contractors turned this design into reality. In fact, Pat texted me last night at 11:45. Prior to all of this, we introduced several bills in the legislature that dealt with funding the project itself, funded the relocation of the Mesabi Trail, funded the moving of the utilities of the city of Virginia. All were enacted, otherwise we might not be here today. We even passed a bill saying that the old Highway 53 could not be closed to traffic until the new Highway 53 was open to traffic. Now, this is the third highway we have moved on the Iron Range in the last 3 years. And the reason is because in order to mine the ore, you must mine it where Mother Nature put it. And sometimes that requires a little bit of innovative thinking. But if you followed this project, you will know that our job in the legislature was the easy part. Through it all, MnDOT, Kiewit, the subcontractors, and our great union workers met all the challenges. Whether it was building this causeway you're on right now, that was a 24-hour-a-day job, or drilling those pilings that are over 100 feet into the hardest rock known to man, or transporting and installing these huge trusses that are right above us, or the innovative way of securing the utilities and the Mesabi Trail to the bridge, this is, without a doubt, an engineering and construction marvel and a true tribute to the contractors, the engineers, MnDOT, and our union workers who put it all together. And let's give them a great big round of applause. And let's not forget all the people who went to all those informational meetings beforehand. Thanks for your input, too. Now, you got the highest bridge. You heard about 10 million pounds of American-made steel. There's 53,713 tons of asphalt pavement here. There's 515,000 hours of labor. They drilled and installed more than 3,800 linear feet of 30-inch drilled steel pile for the bridge foundation. They installed 11,600 linear feet of storm sewer and installed more than 3,592 cubic yards of Richelieu Pit bridge deck concrete. That's all a tribute to what went on here. So, in addition to what I just said, I think that this will forever be a monument to the mining industry and all that it represents. Winning 2 world wars, building the skyscrapers, infrastructures, highways, and automobiles of this country. It is also a symbol of the iron, a symbol similar to the Iron Man statue in Chisholm, of the people who worked in the mines, the good-paying jobs, as well as the many sacrifices many families had to make. So for the next 100 years, this monument will forever remind us of the importance of mining plays in our everyday lives. A highway moved, a bridge over a pit that provided valuable ore, a pit full of water, clean blue water, the very same water that supplies the water that the city of Virginia drinks, a symbol that will last forever and endure and serve our people. And finally, let's not forget Cleveland Cliffs. Cliffs made the request to move the highway, and in the process made a commitment to the people of the Iron Range to continue mining for years to come, to continue providing the good-paying jobs for the current and the next generation of miners, to continue to provide ore to our country's steel mills, and in the process, even doubled down by investing $70 million in the Mustang pellet plant right here on the range. So thank you all again. I'm very privileged and honored to be a part of it, and I'm glad you all could be here today.
Congressman, Senator, Lieutenant Governor, now State Representative. Again, it's my privilege to introduce our local state representative who resides in Virginia, Minnesota, Representative Jason Metza, has worked tirelessly in the State House of Representatives to secure the final piece of funding for this project, along with Senator Tomassoni. He has done an excellent job representing this district, and we look forward to hearing from Representative Metsa as he gives his inspirational account of how this bridge comes to fruition. My privilege to introduce your state representative, Jason Metsa.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the speakers and ready to smash some wine on the bridge to christen it and get on with our day here and hopefully get traffic moving over the bridge. And just want to give a shout out to everyone who's been thanked already today. One thing this bridge taught me is teamwork. And I remember when we first started out, we had routes that were controversial, going all the way over almost halfway to Hibbing and coming back through Mountain Iron, which was a non-starter for the communities here. And we had a funding issue. We had a transportation bill that hadn't been passed yet. Actually, still up until this year was the first time we actually passed a transportation bill with the proper funding. Not a perfect bill, but a step forward. And I think it's a testament to both bipartisanship, community teamwork, both on a federal, state, and local level, in what we can accomplish when we put our politics aside and work on solutions for people. And I think with the basic kind of tension out there right now in the communities with our current electoral politics, that this is one thing I am sure proud of, to have been part of a solution that will be here for 50 years. So I'm looking at our band over here and I can't help but think, you're gonna have to figure out the next one. You and your generation. But we did a few really good things in doing this. We extended the life of Cleveland Cliffs at EVTAC, and we'll have future opportunities for workers to continue working there for another few generations. We also did our due diligence. We bought the mineral rights under here again. So we don't have to deal with all the different RGGS and different companies who actually own the mineral rights and come up with a future solution. And I really got to give MnDOT a shout out for that, because it was an expensive process and pretty unique, I think, to our region to have the mineral zone like that under a highway. But we didn't see fit to leave another generation with the burden of having to do it again. And we stuck with it, and now we won't be leaving them with that burden. I see a lot of our city councilors from throughout the region and local electeds, mayors, and I can't give a bigger shout out to our local community leadership for all the work that went into this, all the way from the East Range to the Quad Cities here, all the way over to Hibbing. This took the village, like Lieutenant Governor Smith said. And it took the Iron Range village, because we came together as a community and saw the project through. And now we're here today. Hopefully, maybe by tomorrow, I'm hearing, if the weather holds out today and they continue paving, that jackhammering you're hearing and stuff, it's still getting worked on. But we're going to have cars coming in down 2nd Avenue to businesses that need that work done. And those shoppers coming in without detouring. And there's no better feeling than to be close to that getting done. So there's a few other things that we've left out here. And this is a thoroughfare for ATVs, snowmobiles, our city sewer, which none of you are getting dripped on because of the amazing engineering that went into it. You think of a bridge expanding and contracting, and then try to get a sewer pipe that can expand and contract with it. I mean, the work that went into that to keep all of us dry is amazing. And overall, again, to kind of wrap up where I started, this taught me a lot about teamwork. And when we're here sitting today, I don't see Republicans, I don't see Democrats, I see Iron Rangers together celebrating
a historic achievement for our region that'll stand for generations to come, a 50-year project with all the great things that we've heard from our other guests today. And I did want to just give one special shout out to Governor Mark Dayton and Lieutenant Governor Smith on here. The way that they put this together in terms of actually having to deal, all the agencies, if you think of the work that goes into getting a permit for this, a permit to that, and we all hear about things getting drug out. We formed an expedited process that normally this could have gone on for probably another year and a half, 2 years, and we worked together to get it done. And so what I want you to leave here with today is a sense of accomplishment for the whole community. And I know my new son, Josiah, who is 7 months old now, going on 8, is going to be one, and yeah, Senator Tomassoni, or former Representative Tomassoni, whatever you'd like to say, calls him Luigi. And, you know, I can't help but think, what do we get into this stuff for? It's the next generation, and to leave things a little better than we found them. And we did that today. And so our color guard here today, your generation kicked it off. The immigrants from all over the world, our generation's here now, my age group, and we're going to be driving over this, and I hope we can live up to the accomplishments that you have, and this is a good starting point for that. So thank you all for coming out today. Thank you, Mary Coffey, for being an awesome MC for us, and thank you, God, for keeping the rain from all of us, and we're going to stay dry, hopefully, through the event.
Well, we have one more speaker, a very important one. But before we get to my introduction of our next speaker, I just want to say once again, from on a personal note, for all those people who are involved in this project. And for, you know, I met a lot of people, a lot of workers from Kiewit, who came here from all different parts of the country when we couldn't find our local people to do the work. They brought some of their own people in. They rented property here. They ate here. They shopped here. I've met them in restaurants, at local liquor establishments, having a couple of beers, at an invitation from them. They've been nothing but professional, very good people, very hard workers. And in conjunction with the Minnesota Department of Transportation, I know Pat Euston's name has been come up several times, but that's been the individual that we as a city has been working with Pat Euston, with Andy Johnson, with Robert Iggy, with Jeff Johnson, and all the other engineers that are involved. And I thank you, Commissioner Zell, for having such a professional staff. And for the IBBB, Mark Phillips and his staff, for your hard work and diligence in keeping your thumb on the pulse of everything that's going on. You've done so much for the Iron Range. This is all part of this as well. So, but the individual who drives the bus on this project, whose company has been selected because they are one of the best companies to this kind of work around the world, Kiewit. And it's my great pleasure to introduce the representative of Kiewit, Mr. Will White.
Well, thank you for the great introduction and kind words, Mayor Cuffey. We very much appreciate it. This is a tough group to follow. I almost feel like I got to go off script here, but you know, I was hoping Representative Metza might stumble a little bit there, so it wasn't so bad for me, but he didn't. He did a great job as usual. On behalf of Kiewit, it's our privilege and our honor to thank all of you and to have been a part of this project. And that's really how we look at it, is we were a part of this project. This project's about partnerships and collaboration and everybody coming together to make this thing happen. And it really did take everybody out here to make this happen, and then some. I want to start by thanking the boots on the ground. You know, the folks with the local unions. We had meetings early on with Mike and Dan and that whole group of people long before this was even a real project, to make sure that we got the proper labor and the skill to build this project. And they've been nothing but great partners since the very beginning. So much appreciation out to the craftsmen that contributed to this project, that really drove it. I also want to say thank you to all of our subcontractors. You've heard the numbers, 25 local subcontractors, and I would tell you it's probably higher than that when you look at subcontractors and vendors, but a whole lot of those folks are from the Iron Range, and that's an important thing to us as an organization. To be successful in an area where we haven't worked is to have strong local partnerships, and we did that with our local subcontractors. Outstanding job. And the folks with MnDOT, FHWA, Parsons Transportation Group, WSB, all the people that were part of the day-to-day and the upfront operations and engineering, what an outstanding group of people. I mean, I don't know that I've worked anywhere with such good cooperative people that are pulling in the same direction for the same goal. And Commissioner Zelli, it's just a testament to your team and what you guys have put together. But fantastic group of people to work with all the way to the top. So a lot of appreciation to the MnDOT folks. You know, I look back and I was talking with Kevin Western earlier here today. This was once thought of as a water project, a marine project. And the thought of trying to construct this bridge off of the water, off of barges, rather than this beautiful causeway that you're sitting on today is just unbelievable that we were able to get to this point. And the CMGC process really allowed us to get there. So that was great. I'd be remiss if I didn't say thanks to this community. You know, we work all over the country. We have the privilege of getting to do that and getting to know people all over the country. But I would tell you this community has embraced Kiewit. They've embraced our group. They've embraced this project. And it has been a fantastic community to work with. Thank you all for letting us come in and do this. The last number I'll bring up, I know you've heard a lot of different numbers and statistics today, is the number 0. I think the number 0 is the single most important number on this project. And that's the number of people that went home hurt working on this project. 0. Thank you again. Appreciate your time and your support.
Well, thank you, Mr. White and Congressman Nolan, Senator Tomassoni, Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, Representative Jason Metza, and Mr. Will White from Kiewit. And once again, for all of you who came here today. So we're going to have a special dedication. And there's a lot of more speakers, a lot of more words, a lot of more things that could be said. But nothing has been said better, or could be said more. How passionate we all were about this, how passionate you were. And I just want to say one more thing. I want to thank you for your patience. Thank you to the community for your patience. Thank you to the 475 residents who live in Midway who are suffering significantly over this period of time and sacrifice for that. It's coming to an end. So thank you very much for everybody. If you look over to your left, we are going to have a christening of this bridge.
Is everybody ready? Let's go. Got to count now. You ready? You get it, Governor? Count to 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hook it up again.
Everybody in on it?
1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.